My father dragged my suitcase onto the lawn and dropped it at my feet. "You have 5 minutes to get off my property," he said, "or I'm calling the cops." My brother Tyler stood on the porch behind him, arms crossed, smirking. All because I wouldn't write a check for $50,000. Dad jabbed his finger toward the street. "My house, my rules. You don't respect this family. You don't get to live here." I looked at the house, the one I'd grown up in, the one with the blue shutters my grandma had painted herself. And I almost laughed, because in about 72 hours, my father was going to learn the most expensive lesson of his life. That house? It was never his. It was mine. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? If you've ever been the scapegoat in your family, go ahead and hit that like button. You're going to want to see how this ends. Let me back up. Growing up, I was the invisible kid. Tyler was the golden child, literally. When he graduated high school, Dad threw him a party with a rented DJ and 100 guests. When I made the honor roll 4 years in a row, I got a pat on the head. Tyler's college? Paid in full. His first car? Handed to him with a bow on it. Me? I worked 2 jobs to get through community college. Took night classes. Lived on ramen in spite. The only person who ever saw me was my Grandma Rose. She used to sit me down at her kitchen table and say, "Kiddo, paper beats memory every time. Keep every receipt, every letter, every promise in writing." I thought she was just old-fashioned. Turns out she was preparing me. Grandma passed 5 years ago. It gutted me. But she left me something. Not just money, a lesson. I kept everything. Bank statements, emails, contracts. I have a fireproof safe with labeled folders. It's excessive, I know. Or maybe it's not. By the time I turned 28, I was a senior systems analyst pulling 6 figures. I had clean credit, a retirement account, savings. Dad's response? "You owe it to this family to share." He always said that, and I always thought the hard part, the grinding, the proving myself, was behind me. I was wrong. 3 weeks before the lawn scene, we had a family dinner. Tyler slid a glossy brochure across the table. Destination wedding, imported orchids, a helicopter entrance for the bride. "We're a little over budget," he said, grinning. "Need another 50K. I blinked. "Another?" Dad jumped in. "You're single, no kids. You make good money. You can cover it." I set my fork down. "I can give you 5,000 as a gift. That's it." Tyler's face went red. "5? Are you serious?" "Dead serious." Dad leaned forward. "Family takes care of family." I looked him in the eye. "Then Tyler can downsize. Helicopters aren't a need. You've always been jealous of me." Tyler shouted. "I wasn't. I just wasn't his ATM." Dad's voice dropped, cold. "If you can't be part of this family, maybe you shouldn't live under this roof." The room went silent. I stood up. "Is that a threat?" "It's a fact," Dad said. "You have 1 week. The check or the door." I walked out, didn't slam anything, just left. In the car, my hands shook on the wheel. I thought about Grandma, about her kitchen table advice. And I drove to my bank, pulled out a safe deposit box I hadn't opened in 5 years. Inside was an envelope. I didn't open it that night, but I knew what it said. 6 days later, I came home from work. My key didn't work. I tried the side door, the garage code, nothing. Then I saw it, my suitcase on the porch, a duffel bag beside it. I knocked, no answer. I knocked harder. Dad's face appeared in the window. "You made your choice," he yelled through the glass. "Get off my property." Tyler stood behind him, phone out, recording. I stood there for a full minute, frozen. Then I loaded my stuff into my car and left. I slept on a co-worker's air mattress that night, stared at the ceiling, couldn't think straight. My phone buzzed. Tyler had posted on Instagram, "Some people choose money over family." Shrug emoji. 200 likes. I wanted to scream. I wanted to post the truth, but I didn't. Instead, I sat in my car the next morning, pulled the envelope out of my glove box, the one from the safe deposit box, the one I'd been carrying around like a talisman. I opened it. Inside was a single piece of paper, and it changed everything. It was a quitclaim deed, recorded with the county 5 years ago, 3 months before Grandma died. Grantor, Rose M. Carver. Grantee, me. The house, my childhood home, the one my father had just kicked me out of, had been transferred to me. Legally, notarized, recorded. My grandmother had owned it outright. Paid off decades ago. Dad had been living there as her caretaker. He never owned it. And now neither did he. I sat in that car under a streetlight and read it 3 times. Then I remembered something. A meeting, 5 years ago, right after the funeral. Grandma's estate attorney had handed me a folder. She wanted you to have this, he'd said. But she asked me to tell you something. Only open it when you truly need it. I'd tucked it away. Paid the property taxes every quarter out of an auto payment I'd set up and forgotten about. I never questioned it. I should have. Because according to this deed, I'd been paying taxes on my own house for 5 years. And my father had been living in it, rent-free, the whole time. I didn't cry, didn't rage. I smiled. Because now I had proof. I called my dad the next morning, calm, professional. We need to talk. In person, coffee shop on Main, noon. He showed up 20 minutes late. I slid the deed across the table. He glanced at it, laughed. What is this? It's the deed to the house. Grandma left it to me. You've been living there as a guest. He shoved it back. That's fake. Mom told me she was leaving the house to me. Verbally. This is some scam you cooked up. It's recorded with the county, Dad. It's public record. I don't care. That house is mine. I've lived there for 30 years. As a caretaker, then as a squatter. His face went purple. He stood up. You come near that property, I'll have you arrested. He left. 2 hours later, I got a call from a police officer. Dad had filed a report claiming I'd stolen personal items during an illegal eviction attempt. No arrest, just a statement. Humiliating but manageable. Then the family group chat exploded. Aunts, uncles, cousins. How could you do this to your own father? You're trying to steal his house. Disgusting. I didn't reply. Then Tyler launched a GoFundMe. Help my dad fight a greedy sibling. It raised $8,000 in 2 days. The comments were brutal. Strangers calling me a thief, a snake. Worse, Dad had declared war. Fine, I had ammunition he couldn't imagine. I went back to my files. 5 years of property tax payments. Every single one from my checking account. I pulled the statements, highlighted each one. 20 payments. Over $14,000 total. Then I found the homeowner's insurance policy, issued 30 days after Grandma's death. Named insured? Me? Property address? The house. Dad's name? Nowhere. But the best part, the part that made my blood run cold, was the letter. Grandma's estate attorney had sent it certified mail, 1 week after the funeral, to my father. It said, per the estate of Rose M. Carver, you are hereby notified that the property located at address has been deeded to my name. You are welcome to remain as a tenant under a lease agreement, or you may arrange alternative housing. Please contact our office within 30 days. Dad had signed for it. I had the tracking receipt, the green card with his signature. He'd known, from day one. He wasn't confused. He wasn't mistaken. He was a squatter, and he'd been lying to everyone, including himself, for 5 years. Now I understood. This was never about the wedding. It was about control, and I was about to take it back. I hired a paralegal, paid her $200 to run a property records check and a lien search. She called me the next day. You need to see this. 4 years ago, my father had taken out a home equity line of credit. $70,000. Against a house he didn't own. The application had a signature. Mine. Forged. I stared at it. My name, but the loops were wrong. The slant was off. The bank had never cross-checked the deed. They just processed it. And where did the money go? $22,000 to pay off Tyler's car loan. $18,000 to settle Tyler's credit card debt. $30,000 for a recreational vehicle. For Dad, the rest? Gone. Spent. And now the line was in default. The bank had sent a notice. They were starting to investigate. If I claimed the house publicly, the fraud would surface. Dad would be exposed. So he'd done the only thing he could think of. He tried to keep me quiet, compliant, dependent. And when I refused to play along, he kicked me out. I wasn't a son to him. I was a loose end. I sat with that for a long time. Then I made a choice. I wasn't going to let him bury me. I was going to bury the lie. I retained 2 attorneys. One specialized in real estate and title fraud. The other handled criminal defense and white-collar cases. Both came highly recommended. We met in a conference room downtown. Leather chairs. Big windows. Very official. I laid out everything. The deed, the tax payments, the insurance, the forged HELOC. The real estate attorney leaned back. This is textbook forgery and unlawful detainer. The bank will freeze the line and likely pursue him. Are you ready for that? I nodded. He made his choices. The plan was clean. Step 1. Send a formal notice to quit. 30 days to vacate. Delivered by the sheriff, so there's no question. Step 2. Notify the HELOC bank in writing. Provide the real deed and the forged application. Let them handle it. Step 3. File a police report for identity theft and forgery. Step 4. Prepare a civil suit for unlawful detainer and fraud damages. Hold it in reserve. No social media. No family drama. Just paper and law. I signed every document they put in front of me. Retainer agreements, affidavits, notarized statements. The sheriff scheduled the notice to quit for the following Tuesday, 9 a.m. I took that day off work. I didn't need to be there. But I wanted to know the exact moment. The moment the truth landed on his doorstep. I didn't have to say a word. The paper would speak for me. Tuesday, 9 a.m. The sheriff knocked on the door. I wasn't there, but my attorney was. He recorded it for the file. Dad opened the door in a bathrobe. The sheriff handed him the notice to quit. Sir, you have 30 days to vacate this property. This is a legal order. Do you understand? Dad tried to hand it back. There's been a mistake. This is my house. No, sir. According to county records, the owner is my name. You're being notified as an occupant. Dad's face went white. That same morning, the HELOC bank's fraud department called him. My attorney had sent them a full packet the day before. They froze the account, demanded an immediate meeting. By Thursday, we were all in a conference room. Settlement conference. Dad, Tyler, their attorney, some guy they'd hired off a billboard, I think. Me, my 2 attorneys, a court reporter, and a projector screen. My real estate attorney stood up, clicked the remote. First slide, the deed. Recorded 5 years ago. Your client has been residing in a property he does not own. Second slide, 5 years of tax payments, all from my account. Your client has paid 0 property tax. 0. Third slide, the insurance policy. Your client is not insured. The named insured is my client. Fourth slide, the certified letter. Your client was notified of the transfer 5 years ago. He signed for this letter. He knew. Fifth slide, the forged HELOC application. Signature comparison, side by side. Your client forged my client's signature to fraudulently obtain $70,000. Sixth slide, the default notice. The bank is pursuing fraud charges. This is now a criminal matter. Dad's attorney went pale. He whispered something to Dad. Tyler stood up. This is insane. You're stealing our dad's house. My attorney didn't blink. He owns it. Sit down. Tyler sat. Dad's attorney cleared his throat. We'd like to discuss terms. Terms were simple. Dad vacates in 30 days. Signs a release of all claims to the property. No lawsuit. In exchange, I don't pursue the fraud damages. And I asked the DA to show leniency on the forgery. Dad's lawyer advised him to take it. Dad's hand shook as he signed. Tyler stormed out. I didn't say a word. I just watched the ink dry. They moved out on day 29. U-Haul in the driveway. Tyler loading boxes. Dad wouldn't look at me. I stood on the porch. My porch. Didn't say a word. They drove away. I changed the locks that afternoon. The bank pursued the HELOC fraud. Dad entered a repayment agreement. $850 a month for 10 years. No criminal record, but financially shackled. Tyler deleted the GoFundMe after my attorney sent a cease and desist for defamation. Refunded every dollar. Scrubbed his Instagram. He blocked me everywhere. Fine by me. The extended family learned the truth slowly. I didn't broadcast it, but a few cousins asked. I sent them a copy of the deed. Some apologized. My Aunt Karen texted, I'm sorry. I should have asked for your side. I replied, it's okay. The paper spoke for me. Some stayed silent. That's okay too. I hired a contractor. Repainted the whole house. Soft gray, new locks, smart deadbolt, ring doorbell. Then I made a decision. I didn't want to live there. Too many ghosts. So I turned it into a rental. Found a single mom with 2 kids. She'd been looking for months. Couldn't find anything affordable. I rented it to her below market rate. Good tenant. Stable job. Just needed a chance. Grandma would have liked that. I moved into a downtown condo. Closer to work. Minimalist. Clean. I put one picture on the shelf. Grandma Rose, smiling in her garden. Sometimes I still get texts from relatives asking if I'm over it. If I'll reconcile with Dad, I don't respond. Because boundaries aren't walls. They're foundations. And I finally have one. A year later, I'm doing fine. Better than fine. I got a promotion. Started therapy. Learned to sit with the quiet. Dad and Tyler? I don't know. I don't check. That chapter is closed. Here's what I learned. Your worth isn't defined by who believes you. It's defined by what you can prove and whether you have the spine to stand on it. Grandma didn't just leave me a house. She left me proof that love doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be documented. So let me ask you this. If you've ever had to prove your truth to people who should have just believed you, drop your story in the comments. I read every one. And if this story hit home, subscribe. Because silence isn't strength. Boundaries are. This has been a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. Thanks for watching.